Howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope y'all doing okay. Another cruise was smooth. So, before I get into this one today, if you like what I've been talking about, my perspective on things, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to know when new stuff goes up. So, I watched a video on Facebook a couple days ago that a buddy of mine shared that I just thought was weird. And not like, it's, a panda bear riding a unicycle weird. No, this was weirder than that. It was essentially like a classroom or a after school tutoring kind of setup, and they had the whole class, and these were like elementary level kids as far as their education. There goes my cooler. Elementary level education children. And they were having them do like this paragraph long pledge that they would get excellent grades, that they would graduate 2 to 3 years ahead of schedule, and have an associate's or a bachelor's degree by the age 20. Because, and I quote, their country, it was something like, my country needs me and it can't wait on me. And the part about it that I thought was weird is like, some of the people that I find most interesting to listen to were people that skipped a grade level and skipped several grade levels, had early higher education, and are very highly educated and capable of really critical analytical thought. I find them to be fascinating to listen to. The thing is, in a lot of those instances, it wasn't the kind of thing where the parents or teachers or whoever were telling these children, you've got to learn at this pace, you've got to do this, that, or the other. It was, they were just good. They were applying themselves in these areas in their grade level so much that they were able to skip a grade. One of the ones I'm more familiar with was Jordan B. Peterson. When I think he skipped a grade in middle school, or skipped the last year of middle school, something like that. And he found the work to be unengaging, so he was literally just filling out answers and getting great grades. He knew the material, he understood the material rapidly, so none of it was challenging for him. He said that skipping the grade level did put him around rougher people that he wasn't emotionally mature enough to be around, or emotionally prepared enough to be around, emotionally mature enough to be around. But it was overall a good experience for him. In the big picture, he had some growing pains becoming accustomed to being around older classmates. But my take on it is, I've got a daughter that's in that boat. My oldest daughter, she is a grade level ahead in a couple subjects due to how good she is, like math and sciences. She's just good enough that she was able to test out and skip a grade. Well, here's where I come down on it. if a child is that gifted and applies themselves enough to skip a grade level, that's fantastic. However, I don't particularly think that putting that level of pressure on young children that, hey, repeat after me, I pledge that I'm going to graduate high school or graduate college by the age 20 with a bachelor's. I don't particularly think that that's healthy for children. They need to be kids. If you've got a kid that's growing up mentally at a faster pace, by all means, but putting that kind of pressure on them, I think, is going to ruin a lot of things about their childhood development, where they're not going to be able to cultivate friendships that in a lot of cases last a lifetime, because they're going to be busy with their nose buried in a book. And I also don't think that it's a particularly healthy thing for a parent or teacher to do to their kids. I think that especially if it was the parent doing that, I think it could build a lot of resentment later on that they stole parts of their childhood from them. Oh, for Pete's sakes. I just think that it's a strange thing. And the thing is, like, all the comments on this video were, thumbs up, good for them, yeah, you go. And like I said, there's no issue with that, but I think putting that level of pressure on children from the top down, instead of, a child striving to do that just of their own, I don't want to spend 18 years of my life going through public school. I'm going to skip a couple grades. If a kid decided to do that, all the more power to them in my book. But I think that parents and teachers putting that kind of pressure on children is asking for problems in relationships, as well as some way or another hurting development, where they didn't get to be a kid as long as they should have. I will say this, and then I'm out of here. Oh, if I were in my Mustang, he would not have passed. Anyway, I will say this, and then I'm done. I remember when I was 16. Now, I was not the most educated person at 16. I was capable of thought, but I didn't have a bunch of book knowledge just rattling around up there. So here's kind of my take on it. If I was 16 and got shipped off to an Ivy League college with kids that are 18 to 22 years old, I would have gone absolutely insane. And I don't mean like crazy as, oh my gosh, these old people, I can't stand it. I mean like misbehaving like an 18 to 22 year old college kid. As it stands, most psychologists and doctors do agree that full brain development doesn't occur until around the age of 25. Most times. There are some exceptions to the rule, but around that general time frame is when you can expect to have a fully adult brain. At 18, the government just decides that you're no longer your parents' responsibility, so you're no longer a tax write-off, and you get to pay taxes now. So we're expecting adult-like behavior from people that are 6-7 years away from total brain development. and then you push that curve back by putting that pressure on these kids. I just don't see. I see there being a few examples if those parents and teachers and whatever really hold those kids to that pledge. I see there being a small percentage of examples where, you know, those kids really did knuckle down and do the work and got into great jobs, careers, offices, whatever. But I see a lot of the rest of it just due to the amount of pressure put on them, building resentment and causing problems in their development. That's what I got. Catch y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in.